Hello everyone, welcome to the session Compactness and Separation Axiom Part 2. So in previous session we discussed about the separation axioms in compact spaces, especially on compact Hausdorff spaces. So now we have a proposition: every compact Hausdorff space is T3. Okay, every compact Hausdorff space is T3. That means the property compactness plus the axiom T2 will implies T3. You know, in general T2 doesn't implies T3, right? T3 always implies T2, but in general T2 doesn't implies T3. But when you add the property compactness for the domain, if it is T2, then that will be T3. Okay, compactness plus T2 will give T3. Okay, so how will you prove this? So I take let X2 be a compact space, compact Hausdorff space. Compact Hausdorff space. That means it is compact plus T2. Okay. To prove it is regular, what is the property or what is the definition of regularity? A space is regular means if you consider a point X and a closed set C not containing this point, then there will exist disjoint open sets U and V such that C contain V, X in U. Okay, so I take let X is a point in capital X and C be a closed set in X such that X not in C. Okay, we take a point and a closed set C not containing that point. Okay, since C is a closed subset of our capital X is compact, right? So C will be a closed subset of compact space X. So closed subspace of a compact space is always compact. Therefore, which implies C is compact. So what is C? C is a compact set not containing the point X. Okay. Then we have the previous proposition that proposition says that when you have a point X in capital X and F is a compact set such that X not in F, then there exists disjoint open sets, right? There exists disjoint open sets U and V such that X in U and F is contained in V, and this will be true for when capital X is compact or T2 space, compact Hausdorff space, right? When our domain is compact Hausdorff, this result will be true, right? So since our capital X is a Hausdorff space and C is a compact set not containing the point X, by this result there exist disjoint open sets U and V such that X belongs to U and C is contained in V, U intersection V equal to empty. So we get this result. So corresponding to a point and a closed set not containing that point, using the compactness we will get X belongs to U, C contained V, U intersection V equal to empty, which implies our capital X is regular. Okay. Since capital X is a Hausdorff space, it is a T2 space, and you know T2 always implies T1, right? Which implies X is T1 because T2 always implies T1. So X is regular and T1. When it is regular and T1, it will be T3, which implies capital X is T3. So compact plus T2 always implies T3. Now using this proposition, we will prove one more. Let capital X be a regular space. Suppose we have a regular space X, which is regular, okay, and C be a closed subset, F be a compact subset, such that C intersection F equal to empty, which means C and F are disjoint, and C, this is F, okay, and C is called a closed set, which is a closed set, and F is a compact set, okay. Then if you have two disjoint sets, one is closed and one is compact, then there will exist, the proposition says that there will exist disjoint open sets U and V such that C in U, F in V, and U and V are open sets which are disjoint also. So in a regular space, any two or any closed set and any compact set, if both are disjoint, then that can be separated by mutually disjoint open sets. So any disjoint closed set and a compact set can be separated by mutually disjoint open sets in regular space. So that is the meaning of this proposition. Now we will see the proof. So I take, let X be a regular space, X be regular, and C subset of X be a closed set, comma, F subset of X be a compact set. I take a closed set and a compact set such that C intersection F is equal to empty. That means they are disjoint. Okay. Now I take a point. Let Xi is a point belongs to our compact set F. Okay, compact set F. Since C and F are disjoint, when you take a point in F, that Xi cannot be belongs to C, right? Which implies Xi cannot be belongs to C. Then Xi is we have a regular space X, okay, and Xi is a point in capital X, and that Xi belongs to our compact space F, okay, and this Xi not belongs to the closed set C, right? So we get a point and a closed set C not containing that point in a regular space. What is a regular space? If you have a point and a closed set not containing that point, there will exist disjoint open set U and V such that X will be belongs to U and C will be belongs to V, right? This is our C. Okay. So since capital X is regular, corresponding to this point Xi and the closed set not containing that point, comma, there exists disjoint open sets U and V such that disjoint open sets, I consider it as Ui and Vi, because varying Xi we will get different Uis and Vi's. So there exists open set Ui, Vi such that Xi is an element in Ui and our closed set C will be contained in Vi. Okay. So if we take a point Xi in our capital F, we get an open set containing that point in capital F, or in particular capital X. So if you are varying these points in capital F, we will get number of open sets in capital F. Then you consider the collection Ui, comma, Xi varying over capital F. Okay, then corresponding to each Xi in F, we will get different open sets in F. Okay, so this collection will be a open cover, form an open cover of K. Yes. Since F is compact, you know every open cover has a finite subcover, comma, it has a finite subcover. That means this whole F can be contained in finitely many number of open balls Uis. Okay, that is there exists some x1, x2, x3, etc. We can choose finitely many members x1, x2, etc. xn in F such that F will be contained in union I equal to 1 to n Ui, where each Xi belongs to Ui. Okay, that means you are considering the open balls of x1, x2, x3, etc. xn, then we choose union of that ones that will be contained in F, or that will contains our capital F because it is compact. Okay, so we get this. Now take U equal to this one, union I equal to 1 to n Ui, and V equal to intersection I equal to 1 to n Vi. Okay, then then clearly F will be contained in U, and we have C is contained in Vi, and this will be true for every Vi. Corresponding to each Xi, we will get Vi, and C will be contained in Vi for every I. So that will be contained in intersection. Therefore, C will be contained in that intersection, that is C is contained in V. So when you consider a closed set C and a compact set F in a regular space X, in a regular space X, we have a open set U and V such that F is contained in here F is contained in U and C is contained in V, right? So that means a closed set and a compact set can be separated by using mutually disjoint mutually disjoint open sets in a regular space. Now we need only prove that the U is open and V is open and U intersection V equal to empty. I can say that U and V are clearly open because U is union of open balls, which is a finite union. So finite union of open balls is open, therefore U is open. And finite intersection of open balls is again open, therefore V is open. Since union of open sets is open and finite intersection of union can be arbitrary or finite, but intersection must be finite. Finite intersection of open sets is open. So using these two results, which implies U and V are open. Okay. Now we prove that U intersection V equal to empty. Yes. If U intersection V is non-empty, then what happened? Then we can consider one element Z belongs to U intersection V, that is Z in U and Z in V. When Z belongs to U means what is U? U equal to union I equal to 1 to n Ui. When Z in V means what is V? Z belongs to intersection I equal to 1 to n Vi. So Z belongs to union means Z belongs to Ui for some I. For some I. Okay. Z belongs to intersection means Z belongs to Vi for every I. Then you consider corresponding ith coordinate. That means whatever Z belongs to Ui, you fix that I, then Z will be belongs to that corresponding Vi, then Z will be belongs to Ui intersection Vi. Is it possible? No. Because corresponding to each xi, we will get two open sets Ui and Vi such that they are disjoint. Ui and Vi are disjoint. Therefore, their intersection must be empty. Since Ui intersection Vi will be empty for every I, Z belongs to Ui intersection Vi is not possible. Therefore, U intersection V must be empty. So, we get the required result.